Michael Chandler recently appeared on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, where he was asked about his fight with Conor McGregor. Michael said he and others believe it will happen in UFC 300. However, nothing seems to be 100% confirmed yet.
Okay, so I've tried my best to beat around the bush for the last 15 or so minutes. Could you tell us, as we speak here today on October 4th at around 2:28 Eastern time, where does the fight stand? What is the status of the fight, you versus Conor McGregor?
The status is unequivocally the fight is still happening. The fight is not booked for a date. The fight is not booked for a venue. The fight is booked between Chandler and Conor. There's no way that Conor comes back and doesn't fight me. If Conor doesn't fight me, he's probably just not coming back, and that's out of my control. So he's coming back. He's fighting me. At this point, obviously by deductive reasoning, by process of elimination, there's now a main event in December. There's a main event in November. We're not going to not be a main event. So that pushes us into 2024. I'm ready to fight in January, February, March, April, May, whenever. So we'll see. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense that there's a very historic card coming up with the UFC. I haven't been told that's when it's going to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is when it is. And if it is, I got more and more time to prepare. I've never had this much time to prepare for one certain guy, one certain opponent. So me and my team training here in Nashville, and also when I go down to Florida, we're going to put together a game plan, knock this dude out in the first round or two.
When you signed up for the Ultimate Fighter, were you told this fight is happening on X date or X month?
No, I was told, hey, the plan would be do this, and then the fight would be around, right after the show. Because It made a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
We do the show till August. Maybe we fight right after the show. It would make a ton of sense from a TV perspective, from a building of the hype, building of a fight perspective, to fight right in, what was it, August, September, or maybe right now in October, right after the show ends. But ultimately, that's not happening. But no, that's one thing I will say. Listen, myself and the UFC have a very good relationship. It's a very honest relationship, whether they tell me what I don't want to hear or I tell them what they don't want to hear, or at least telling each other the truth or any information that we have. So we got a good relationship, and I know they're trying their best, and we knew this was going to be an interesting road no matter what. That was one thing that they said, hey, you're about to sign up for the Ultimate Fighter against Conor, and you're going to be booked to fight Conor. This is not going to be a traditional way that a fight gets booked. There will be some roadblocks, some ups, some downs, some uncertainty. And that's what a lot of people, in your shoes or the other fighters or whoever might say, what's going on here? You're wasting a bunch of time. Just because it's not a conventional way to get a fight booked or a conventional timeline doesn't mean the fight's not happening. So as we sit here today, it's Chandler versus McGregor at a date to be determined.
Are you able to tell us, based on what you know or have been told, why hasn't the fight been booked yet or even happened yet?
I have not been told. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation. The guy's coming off of a crazy injury. Is he not ready to fight yet? I also completely understand if Conor isn't in any hurry to come back. He's got more money than you, more money than me. He's got more money than he could probably spend. So that urgency for him to fight may not be there necessarily. So it's probably got to be right when right. He needs to feel 100% right. Obviously, people are posting stuff, tagging us in different things. He's training, looking like he's training. He's looking like he's doing what everybody accuses him of, is partying too much. But he's also out there training as well. So he's training. I don't have it would all be speculation at this point. But yeah, the guy's coming off of a gruesome injury. This is not an easy injury, and shame on anybody who says, hey, he should be back by now. The dude snapped his leg in half. So we'll see. Either way, I'm looking forward to that fight, and I believe the fight is happening. I might be absolutely crushed if it doesn't, but I have no indication whatsoever that I'm not waiting in vain.
Have you set a personal deadline? Hey, if this doesn't come to fruition by X month, I'm moving on?
That's a good question because I've definitely thought about that a lot, and people have asked me that. Obviously, with the 6-month USADA deadline, you start looking at different dates, you start looking at different events. You can do the math. at what point in time he would need to be entered the USADA testing pool, which will be, you'll know, I'll know, everybody will know, because that's a public, basically a public announcement. It will be put out there right when he does enter the USADA pool. You know, best I can say, UFC 300 could possibly be what everyone is probably looking at. So between, you know, right around that 6-month mark from there would make a lot of sense. But I haven't set a date. But like I said, I'm just a foot soldier ready for that phone call. And when that phone call comes in, I go to work. Until then, I'm training every day, staying in shape. Like I said, you don't get old, you get lazy and busy. I'm not lazy, and I'm not too busy to get my workouts in. So I just focus on that.
That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get notified for all future videos. Thanks for watching.